everybody, and thanks for checking out my review of the Omega Speedmaster 57. This version I'm reviewing has the black sandwich dial and bracelet with the in-house Master Chronometer 9906 handwound movement. Now the Speedmaster 57 is in the Heritage line. This version is a modern interpretation of the original Speedmaster released in 1957. Years before the Speedmaster had any affiliation with the moon, it was a racing watch. They did a re-release of the 57 in 2013 with a coaxial movement. That version was 41.5 millimeters. Having an automatic movement made it on the thicker side, which we tend to notice more on smaller widths. This version had raised markers with sword-style hands. It was updated in 2016 with the classic broad arrow hands to pay tribute to the original. They used a sandwich dial and a faux patina for the vintage look. The thickness was still a big complaint for many owners. Now in 2022, they did another re-release. The black dial version kept a similar design to the 2016 version with the sandwich dial and broad arrow hands, but they decreased the width to 40.5 millimeters and made it much thinner at just under 13 millimeters. They did this by using the 9906 movement similar to the Speedmaster Chronoscope 9908 movement and adding the date complication. They released 4 color versions: the black sandwich dial that I'm going over here, the blue, green, and burgundy, with choices of bracelets or leather straps. What collectors appreciate about the newest Heritage Speedmaster 57 released in 2022 is how Omega paid respect to their past while introducing us to the future. Now the dimensions on the new 57 are 40.5 millimeters wide by 49.6 millimeters lug to lug and 12.9 millimeters thick. It weighs 134 grams on the bracelet and 80 grams on the leather straps. The lug width is 20 millimeters for strap changes, and it's 50 meters water resistant. The domed sapphire crystal is created with anti-reflective coating on both sides, and the flat sapphire on the case back has AR coating on the inside. The Speedmaster 57 uses a brushed steel insert with the dot over 90 and the accent over the E. Like the original Speedmasters, the 57 shows the tachymeter base 1000 with measurements starting at 300. This 57 has a black textured sandwich dial with the vintage color that many call faux patina. The printing shows the Omega Speedmaster logo below the 12 o'clock and matching color 2 lines of small print reading coaxial Master Chronometer. The sandwich dial is one of my favorite designs, and I'm going to link a time and tide video in the description when Andrew goes over the manufacturing process on his visit to Omega. The sandwich dial uses a base plate of stamped brass and then they oxidize it to black. They apply the off-white cream-colored superluminova for the vintage look. The top plate is also stamped and machined brass with the cutouts for the markers, the date, and the subdials. It's anodized to the matte black finish, adds the printing, and then assembles them together for the recessed markers and depth that you see in this dial. They removed the subdial at the 6 o'clock and added a chronograph hour hand to the 3 o'clock subdial for the 12-hour and 60-minute measurements on the chronograph. The date replaces the 6 o'clock subdial, which matches the dial and the faux patina colors. The 9 o'clock subdial shows seconds, and they use the broad arrow hand for the hour as a tribute to the original. This all adds to an amazing amount of detail in the design of this version. It's very well balanced. Now inside the recessed hands of the markers and on the hour and minute hands, Omega used a generous application of superluminova. It glows green as you can see here on the Speedmasters, and they use blue for Seamasters. It glows for a few hours, and it shows as bright as a lot of my dive watches. The Speedy 57 uses a flat link bracelet with an integrated 2-position comfort extension under the clasp. With the short links and the extension, you should have no problem finding the perfect size. The 3-piece bracelet has a brushed finish on the inner links, polished on the outer links and sides, and it tapers from 20 millimeters between the lugs to 15 millimeters at the clasp. Now if you purchase the leather option, the leather is darker with the pin buckle. I've also been showing this watch on the lighter colored 20 millimeter golden brown 2-piece leather strap that tapers down to 18 millimeters with the fold over steel deployant. It changes up the look and it pairs well with the finish on the dial. The 9906 coaxial features a superior hand-wound METAS certified movement. I'll add the guidelines of a METAS certification in the description below. Now, Omega supplies a link to a website and a code to use to see the test results of a METAS certified movements in your individual watch. It's a highly decorated coaxial master chronometer, which is anti-magnetic, shock resistant, and has a rated accuracy of 0 to +5 seconds per day and should never run slow. The power reserve is 60 hours, and the silicone hairspring allows for longer service intervals. Now, looking at the movement through the see-through case back shows the movement plate with the arabesque Geneva waves spanning out from the corner at the balance bridge to the edges of the case. Next to it shows the chronometer column wheel. One of the reasons this watch is so thin is its hand-wound only movement. Removing that rotor made this watch so much more wearable for more people. The chronograph buttons have solid feedback when you push them. Press the top button to start and stop. The bottom button zeroes it out, but it also has protection. You see, it's never a good idea to push the reset button on a chronograph while it's moving. You could ruin the movement. Now, Omega put a safety feature in the button so it cannot be pushed until it's stopped. The chronograph hand counts to seconds. The 3 o'clock subdial counts minutes and hours. Now, here's the Speedmaster 57 on my 7.5-inch wrist. The clasp is only 32 millimeters long with the Omega logo, and with the shorter links, I find it to be very comfortable. The strong taper allows the wrist to move freely where you almost forget that you're wearing the watch. It's very well balanced on the wrist. Now here it is on that golden brown leather that I was talking about earlier. I find the leather to be very soft and there's virtually no break-in. Now when I tried on the leather version in the store, that seemed a little stiff, and I prefer deployment over a pin buckle for security while removing and putting the watch on. It's very comfortable on the bracelet or on the leather, and it's nice to have the versatility to be able to change it up. Omega is giving you a lot of watch in a thinner package from previous versions. They're also giving you a lot of choices if you like the watch, but want something different. You have plenty of color options. They created a great tribute to the past while giving it a modern movement and updated design. Movements like these show that Omega challenges themselves. So I want to thank you very much for watching this review. If you like it, please click the thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified of my future videos. And please leave a comment below on what you think of this watch. I love reading your thoughts. You could also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at DougFNJ. I also launched my website. Visit DougFNJWatches.com. I'm an authorized dealer for LoomTech watches. Use discount code DougFNJ for 15% off your order. I'd also like to thank my friend Rob at Topper Jewelers. He always gives me great service. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching. Be safe and have a great day.